Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's been a little while, but we decided that we are going to come in with a new pick a card for you guys. And the pick a card that we're doing today is who are your spirit animals and what do they want to tell you? So, who are your animal guides and what do they want to tell you? So, go ahead and pick a pile. We have 4 different piles today. We're going to draw animals from our animal deck that we made. And then we'll do tarot, oracle, and then Lena's doing channeled messages today. So we will go ahead, we'll read through those and pick whichever pile suits your fancy. And we'll go ahead and get into pile 1, which is the wolf over here.
See you there.
If you chose pile 1, you chose the wolf totem. So we will see if there's any of these in here to see if there's any confirmation. But basically what this tells me right off the bat is someone who is very independent. You might have a guide that's very into helping you like develop your independence. Also, the wolf is very much about like also that pack mentality. So even though you're independent, like you also are good at being in your family and your pack, and like a close circle of friends would be probably really important to you. This could be a guide that also helps you with your friendships and your family relationships and kind of helps you deepen that bond. Wolves are also very intelligent and quick, and they like to kind of be out in nature, roam around, and they're very much in tune with the moon, which is about your emotions as well. So there's a lot of different factors that go into the wolf totem, but the wolf totem might be a totem for this group, might be a guide for this group. But we have tarot, we have oracle, but we're going to go ahead and shuffle out some animals to see kind of who your guides are. I've been trying to I'm going to try to keep it limited to like 3 or 4. But we're going to go ahead and look at those. And then Lena's doing channeled messages too. And then we're going to throw just some charms at the end of the reading as well. So we'll go ahead. Let's see what animals or spirit guides you have. And these cards, hold on, they have 3 different traits of that animal guide or what that guide works on with you. So we'll go ahead and see, you can already see a little hint if you can read it. There we go. I'll get one more. Well, all right. So your first animal guide is the spider. So the spider is creativity, patience, and then feminine energy. So this could be a spirit animal that helps you with your divine inner feminine, which is all about like your emotions, and then creativity. So if you like to work on like creative projects, if you are into like music, art, writing, anything that has to do with your creativity. And then patience, so working through like patient, because obviously with the spider waits patiently for things to get caught in this web, and it also takes a lot of patience to make the web. So if you have the spider spirit, that's a spirit that's going to help you with those traits. You also got the mouse. So the mouse is quiet, adaptable, and intelligent. So as a guide, the mouse would help you with learning how to listen more, how to really observe your surroundings, but also how to really work through things. Mice are known for being very resilient. So they're very good at teaching you how to really be hardworking, but to know like when to jump on opportunities and to kind of allow things to come in without being too like on the go, 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 go. They're very like quick, but they're only like, they only do things when they need to. And so they're very resourceful as well. So that could be helping you with any of that. And then I laughed because the other 2 that you got are the llama and the alpaca, which are very similar animals. The llama is the hard worker, perseverance, and success. And then the alpaca is endurance, affectionate, and communication. So for a lot of people that pick this pile, there's a lot about like working hard, but being smart about it. So a lot about like communicating and really forming those deeper bonds and doing all of that hard work and like really enduring and persisting. So you might be required right now to be going through a time where things may take a lot of patience, or things may not go at the pace or be the way that you expect them to, which I think for a lot of people right now, that's kind of the ish, you know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of your guides are really helping you with that right now. Now, any of these guides that we pull out could be spirit guides, they could be animal totems, or they could just be guides that are here right now to help you at this moment in time. Because with your animal guides, just like with your spirit guides, if some of them are permanent, and then some of them are guides that will come and go as you need them. So just keep that in mind as well. And then we'll see if anything matches up. But for your tarot, so this is going to be what they want you to know. So these guides that you're working with, what do they want you to know? They sent you the Two of Wands. They sent you the Ace of Cups, Justice. Love to see it. And the Eight of Cups. So right off the bat, I'll just list the animals. You have, I believe these are hawks, but they're birds of some sort. You have the otter, you have the owl, and then you have the squid for the Eight of Cups. So what this really reads for me as far as what they want you to know is right now you're probably on a newer journey. So you may have been starting a new project, or you may be going through a new time creatively right now, getting all these ideas, and you're getting an opportunity from spirit, or you already have, that's really fulfilling for you, and it's something that you're really passionate about and really excited about. And I think right now it's about kind of letting yourself get those ideas and get that opportunity and really start to develop that. But in order for these things to fully like come into fruition, you have to be able to let things go. And so I think right now you're kind of in like a transitional phase, which again kind of goes along with like that endurance, persistence, like adaptability vibe that you're getting from your guides already. Because this Eight of Cups is all about like kind of doing like that deeper dive and then seeing what needs to be kept and then leaving the rest. So it is very much about leaving things behind that you no longer need, or that no longer serve you, or that are no longer in the right alignment with you, in order to pursue or allow for other things to come in. And I feel like with this Justice card, that's exactly what's happening, is you're finding this balance, and spirit's coming in with things like clarity and answers, and all of these things are starting to kind of like come into your life right now. And you're starting this new project, and it's really allowing you to open up. And so these guides are here with you to help you start this journey that that's come into play. And they're here to kind of help you develop it and move forward with it. And I think that's kind of just where you're at right now, is the energy that I'm really picking up from this.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that energy makes a lot of sense. And with the animals that you guys already got, I think that is really fitting for what you guys are going through right now.
We have oracles for you. So I drew 5 oracle cards. They're all animal cards. So we'll go ahead and start with this one, which is the Sandpiper Spirit, which is a bird. You seem to have a lot of birds. Which is be playful, which goes really well with that creative energy that I'm picking up on. Probably just move that down. Okay. You got the Rhino Spirit, which is overcome any obstacle. So again, leaving those things behind. You got Hobbies for the Butterfly card. So again, creative pursuits, whatever it is that you've just started doing, or those ideas that have been filtering in, part of your hobbies, those are what your animals are trying to help you with. You got Bat, which is see through illusion into truth. And then the last card you got matches the sticker. It's Wolf. Be independent, but work together. And so with this, what I'm really picking up on is it kind of just expands on that whole, like, any obstacles that you've had in your way, like spirit's kind of coming in with this sword and justice and kind of cutting them out, and you're leaving those behind so that you can accept this new, like, playful, light, like, hobby energy, like this very much like passion that's coming in, that you're very excited, very like high vibe, that's starting to come in now that you're working on letting go of all that other stuff. So with that, like you're kind of coming over the last few obstacles, and like that's really allowing you to see through all of the like things that were in your way in the past and really transcend those and move forward. And for a lot of you, like there's a hobby that you really love that you started getting more and more into lately. And I think this is just encouragement to keep going. So basically, like, you know, this hobby could become a lot more if you let it, or if you're already doing your hobby as like a career, like this is a development. So this is just like another step, and things are moving up and progressing.
I agree with that as well. So for your channeled messages, I have here, you got stepping into your role as a leader and aligning to your path, which I think makes sense with a lot of things that we already got. Dream the world you want to see into being. Yellow balloons showed up, which to me, Spirit was showing it to me as like, you're gonna meet people and friends, and like these people are going to be like, I see you like grabbing the balloon and like floating up. So it's like you're gonna meet people because you've, you know, like your vibrations changing. You're coming into meeting probably like Soul Tribe, and it's like you're gonna grab the balloon and they're gonna grab the balloon, and it's like you guys are gonna float up to like the next chapter is kind of what I was picking up from that. They also said new adventure will require risk. Trust your gut and be ready to expand your horizons. So that was all I had for your channeled messages, but I think they went really well with the things that we saw in the cards.
I agree. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw you a couple of charms from your guides to kind of see what they can give us. So give me, I'm only going to do a few of them. Here we go. Okay. So these could be symbols. These could be little pieces of importance to you. They could have some meaning. They could be confirmation for you. But we'll take it as we go. So the first one that we got is passport.
That's funny.
Yeah. So travel. You might be kind of planning a trip, or if you haven't planned a trip, like maybe that's your sign that you should. Traveling overseas is a potential for you if you're somebody that works like in a job where you're allowed to do that, or where that's an opportunity that might start opening up for you. I know that, you know, right now it's still a little bit dicey, but I think that things might start opening up soon. I know that Lena and I have both been talking about how we've been kind of feeling like May, June-ish for like the past year. So we'll see if that happens. But I think that in any case, you should still plan a trip, and that might help you really manifest that into being for yourself. And I think that'll be really good for you. We have Big Ben, which is in London. So maybe that trip's going to be to England. But that could also be a sign of the Tower. So the Tower card, a lot of people are afraid of the Tower card in tarot, but I'm not. But the Tower card just basically is about endings that needed to happen. Usually it's like a big sudden change in order to really help you drop that tower and start new and start fresh. And I feel like a lot of people, because of the season that we're in, because it's Aries season and we just went through the Aries new moon, if you're watching this when we put it up, but with that, like, is coming a lot of new beginnings right now. So I feel like that's also a symbol of like a new beginning, which we already got with like your Ace of Cups, Two of Wands energy. So that could just be talking about the fact that you've been through a tower moment and now it's the rebuilding phase, and that's kind of the phase you're in. We have, I'm gonna set these down so I have all my hands. I don't know if this is important, but you have the letter U. So, you know, that could be your name, an initial, a letter that's really important to you in some way. You could be like YOU. So it could just be like talking about you and like focusing on you and how you're doing and kind of working through that.
Yes, it can also stand for UK as well.
It can. You also have the moon, blue moon. And it does have like a little tiny star. I don't know if you can see that. But with the moon, that's all about your dreams, your hopes, your intuition, your emotions. So, really focusing on like your dreams and your creative projects, but as well as listening to your intuition and kind of following like your soul and what your intuition is telling you to do. And then also really like allowing yourself to feel your emotions going through and working through those. But I feel like with this group, like you kind of already have a grasp on how to do that. So for me, it's really about like using those emotions and working with those, using your creativity, following your dreams, like really allowing yourself to utilize that feminine energy, which again, spider, feminine energy. You have Pegasus, which for me, with the flying horse, that's all about like grace and moving very quickly. So I feel like you're kind of taking leaps and bounds right now. And that's really exciting because that means that you're moving forward and you're moving forward very, very quickly and with grace and, and just adaptability. And then the last charm that you got is the little key cat. So white is a symbol of purity, and then the cat is a symbol again of independence, kind of like the wolf. A symbol of independence, but also of curiosity and playfulness. So again, really like diving into that like creative, playful energy is very much the vibe that I'm getting.
I agree. I think you guys have like I said, with your channel messages and like even with the cards and the charms, you have a new adventure that is coming for you. And I think it's really just going to be about trusting yourself and trusting spirit, because even off that cat, I'm picking up on like crown chakra energy. So I feel like you're going to be getting a lot of downloads, a lot of hits, a lot of inspired things. And like, that doesn't, I think people tend to think that just like they'll hear, for example, like a random song and those lyrics will inspire them for something. And they're like, oh, well, that's not my psychic gifts. I heard a song and like that made me think of it. And it's like, no, that is your intuition. That is your psychic gift. So like, don't doubt or diminish any little thing that pops up for you like that. If it feels important, it probably is, and you should chase that. And I think that's kind of what they want to say is like, this is going to require that risk and you're going to have to trust yourself on that. So if suddenly you wake up one day and you feel like, you know what, I really need to make a change, and you're like, I need to figure, I've always wanted to live in, like, let's just say it is London, right? I've always wanted to live in London, and now I need to figure out how to make that happen, and like follow that gut instinct, because it's not going to lead you wrong. Now I'm not saying if you have the means and the money, then and you can get a plane and do it, go for it. That's awesome. If you don't, I'm not saying don't put yourself into debt or anything like that. Of course, again, be smart, be reasonable, but you know what inspired action is and what being like reckless is. But I feel like this group, like you guys, I think you have that want for adventure and desire, but there's a part of you that holds yourself back. And I think this is spirit coming in, like these spirit animals coming in and saying like, hey, we want to push you down this path, but you have to be willing to go for it. And I think you're going to meet new people. And with the wolf, you might be really selective about who you let in. And spirit is saying, we're going to lead you to some awesome people who are meant to be in your life, but you have to be willing to open yourself up enough to let them in, to chance meeting them. That's kind of what I pick up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Hopefully that resonated for you. But those are your messages. Go ahead, leave us a like, a comment, hit subscribe. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if any of these animals stood out to you. Otherwise, we stream on Twitch sometimes. We also post on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're all over the place. So look for us there. But that is what we had for you guys. And hopefully we will see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
If you picked pile 2, you picked this bird, which I'm pretty sure is a hawk, but we thought it might be an owl. But I'm going to go with hawk. So with this bird, basically with the hawk, it's someone that is or an animal that is very intelligent, very wise, an animal that is very high vibration. They tend to fly up, very high. And then they're also predatory birds, but basically with that, it's very much about like kind of knowing what they want and going for the things that they want, being very powerful. and just kind of being like, not necessarily shrewd, but kind of shrewd. But, just kind of going for the things that they want and knowing like what opportunities are the right opportunities for them, and just kind of grabbing things, by the horns and going for it. So I feel like with this energy, it is a very powerful energy. So this could be an animal that is a totem animal or a spirit animal for you all the time. Or it could just be one that's here to kind of teach you a lesson right now. But we do have tarot, we have oracle, we have some charms and channel messages, but I'll go ahead and I'll look and see what animals we get from these cards, to tell us exactly, which animal spirits are working with you right now and kind of what lessons they're teaching you. So I will draw out 4 of these for you, and we'll kind of see like some traits as well of these animals. Now, I explained to the last group that with these animals, again, like some of them are here all the time and are considered what we call totem animals, which means that like they kind of guide you throughout your life journey. And then some of them are here. Okay. Some of them are here just for a little while, just while you need certain lessons in your life. Hold on one second. So it just kind of depends on where you're at in life right now and kind of how you associate with these. But you might see these animals, around, or they might be animals that you see as like symbols. So you can see them like, I don't know, on like a carton at the store, or like maybe your favorite like snack brand has one of these animals, So it just kind of depends. But they kind of come and go as they please, and that was way too many. This group is your guides want to give you all of the animals. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for your animals, we got the flamingo, which is grace, flexibility, and vibrant. So with the flamingo, that's an animal that is very flexible, an animal that's very beautiful and is very graceful, an animal that really like, it's also known kind of for its creativity and being very bold and vibrant. But with the flamingo, they also travel in like flocks. So it could also be an animal that's helping you with like, social aspects of your life, not necessarily like family or like close knit, but more like just like groups. So it may be helping you with communication, with kind of being bold and like putting yourself out there more, but also being graceful as well. And then you also got the swan, which is grace, beauty, and love. So with the swan, again, that's another bird. So I think birds are important to this group. But with the swan, that's also about grace. So being very graceful. So right now might be a time in your life where you're learning a lot about like what it means to be graceful and how to have grace and compassion for others. With the swan, again, another beautiful bird. So that's another one that's kind of teaching you about like self-love and like understanding like your inner world and really seeing yourself as, the person, as the beautiful person that you really are. You have the panther, which is power, protection, death, and rebirth. So you guys might be going through a tougher period right now. You might be kind of going through like some darker shadow energies. You might be working on like, again, like transformation. So like you might be really leaning into that self-love right now, and that's allowing you to kind of open up and develop, with your heart space, especially with this group, with your heart space, and really open that up and allow for like love and beauty in. And in doing so, like it's allowing you to really learn how to express self-love and really express yourself outwardly as well, and being more confident. And then the other thing that you got, the other animal, is giraffe, which is gentle, high perspective, and grounded. So I feel like with this group, there is this very big need to like nurture yourself. Again, so you might be working through a lot of like self-doubt or, old habits or cycles that kind of make you feel a little bit less than. You're really working through those and pulling those out and being gentle and careful with yourself and allowing yourself the grace and the time and the space that you really need to grow and to move forward. And I think you're really coming into like power. Like, I feel like your energy is really raising and you're kind of coming into this place of being like kind of sitting in your power and allowing that to really like filter through your heart space is kind of what I'm picking up just from your animals. And they're helping you to kind of move through that with grace and flexibility so that you can get through that easier and stay grounded and, you know, kind of move through this transition.
Mm-hmm.
So those are your animals that are guiding you. Now we have Tarot and Oracle as far as what they want you to know right now, or what they're helping you with. Hold on. So we will get into that in just a second if I can get these to stand up. Oh my goodness. I'm having problems with the panther. Okay. If you hear my cat, I'm sorry. He's a pain. I don't know what to tell you. I love him, but he's a pain. So we will get into your tarot cards. We have 4 of them, and then we'll do your oracle. So for what they want to tell you, you got the Queen of Wands, which is mouse. You got the Knight of Pentacles, which is the bee. You have the Page of Cups, which doesn't really have an animal. It has fish. And then you have the Six of Swords, which is one of those light fish. They're called like lanternfish, I think. But what they're really trying to tell you from these cards, as far as what I'm picking up on, is that right now it may be feeling like it's kind of going a little bit slower, or like things are taking a really long time. And it's just because you're kind of going through this transitional period and you're going through this time where you're learning how to really allow yourself to feel and to really release things that are no longer serving you so that you can move through this and get into those calmer waters. And I think you're actually coming into that place right now where you're getting to those calmer waters, because all of your animals talk about like grace and gentleness. And I feel like very much is you're getting into that energy, and it might have taken a long time to get here. And it might still feel like things are moving really, really slowly right now. But you are leaning into that power. You're leaning into that nurturing, like motherly energy, and allowing yourself to kind of feel like, you know, those feelings you need to feel, but still staying connected to like spirit and using those emotions to fuel creative projects and spiritual projects, things that you kind of have as hobbies, things that you want to do for like your career. You're really allowing yourself to expand on all of the things that are in your life that, you know, are important to you, while still moving through this feeling or this heaviness and letting it go. And it's really exciting because you have the Six of Swords at the end here. Like, that tells me very much, along with this Page of Cups, that you are moving through this and that you are getting to those calmer waters, even if it does feel like it's taking an extra long time to get there, which I know like patience is like, I don't like that word. The P word and I are not really that great of friends. But I try my best. But I know that that's really, really difficult. And so I want to commend you on moving through a lot of this, especially when you have the Knight of Pentacles, because that is that kind of like slow and steady wins the race energy. And it is a hardworking energy. Obviously, you have the bee on that card. So, you know, it is really hard to get to where you've gotten to. And I think that, you know, you need to know that it is coming to an end and you are out on the other side and getting to those calmer waters now.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that completely.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and get into your oracle cards. So for your first card, you got the hummingbird spirit, which is be here now. You got the koi fish, which is there's always enough. 34 and 36. You got for the butterfly card, spiritual growth. And then for the they're called like angels and animal cards. You got the snake, which is live according to your divine essence, which is the elemental kingdom. I didn't say the angels in the first group, my bad. And then this is the rat, which is be true to yourself and the universe will reward you. And it's archangels Gabriel and Zadkiel. So with these oracle, I mean, it just really expands. Like being here in the present moment, like you're experiencing a lot of growth, a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of emotional growth, a lot of transformation. You have the snake. Um, and it is really difficult to go through all of that. But if you would allow yourself to kind of ground into this moment and really allow yourself to be and just kind of express who you truly are and like how, you know, how your emotions feel and use that to kind of fuel, you know, who, you know, fuel your healing process, but also fuel any like creative projects that you have, any hobbies, any like jobs, anything that you have, like allowing yourself to use your emotions to fuel that is going to also help you feel a lot more grounded and in the moment as well. So if you are somebody that does a lot of creative projects, so if you like to do like if you like to do music or if you like to do art, if you're somebody who likes to, you know, work on your body, like let's say you're like a bodybuilder, let's say you like to learn a lot about like sports and nutrition and health, or if you like to, you know, there's lots of examples of like creative hobbies or like hobbies that don't have to do necessarily with like typical creativity, but I feel like putting your heart into those things is really going to help you feel a lot more grounded and help you really release a lot quicker. But again, I do feel this energy of like going with the flow, and like you've already kind of transcended a lot of this and are in the process of getting into those calmer waters. And in doing that, like just allow yourself to be and allow yourself to just feel and just be here and not worry about like, you know, what are the next 12 steps? Just allow yourself to be present and in the moment. And that's going to really like allow you to see where you're at and to feel more comfortable and confident. And that's going to push you even further forward and allow you to really embody that power.
I agree with that. Okay, so for your channeled messages here, I got the first thing that I got was like a basketball being shot like into the net and like hearing that like swish sound, you know, so like to me that's like an easy shot, and I'm taking that more as like once you get through this, things are going to flow a lot easier, things are going to feel easy, like you're not like it's almost like when you're in a basketball game, right? Like getting through all of the barriers and the guards and everything, like, you know, who are blocking the basket, and then you finally get there, right? Like you're past the ball, right, from spirit, and you take your shot and it actually lands. And I think that's what you guys are going to find happens for you once you get to that point of being able to take the shot. There was also a lot of tingling in my left ear for you guys. So for me, I'm taking that as paying attention to what you hear. There was hands like molding clay and like making like pottery. So I'm seeing that as like, there's two kind of different things that are coming through for that for me. So one is about like you molding your life and like manifesting with spirit to create the life that you want. But it's also like letting spirit mold you, letting them pull off layers and things that you no longer need and asking them for help and letting them shape you into the person that you you know are. I also saw like hand holding, and again, to me this was about taking spirit's hand and like going with them, you know, down this journey and not fighting against them. See from a higher perspective came through, as well as don't hold on to any regrets from the past. Forgive yourself and know you are worth it. You're releasing the ego and learning to love from the heart for yourself and for others. So for me, this is about like you're learning to cut out like the care of what other people think of you, and like being so conscious about what everyone thinks about you, about, you know, what you're eating, what you're doing, what you're wearing, you know. And this is a hard thing to do because we're trained from a small age to care about that. And I think that you're learning to step into actually your own power and not and be passionate about what you want, and like not feel this need to live by what society wants anymore. And that's going to allow you to open up and love in a way that you've never loved people before. And like can be romantic, yes, but I'm almost feeling this more as just like in general, like Becca was picking up on your heart space, and I feel the same thing. Like I feel like your heart space is going to expand and you're going to see the world in a new way.
Mhm. I definitely agree. I'm gonna pull some charms. I'm only gonna pull a few because we're only doing a little bit of the charms. So okay, I got a few more than the last group, but you got this is the Tree of Life. So with the Tree of Life, like that is connecting spiritually, but as well as like growing your roots and staying grounded. Trees could be an important symbol for you. So just keep that in mind, that like you might be somebody that needs to go out in nature and kind of like take some time to breathe and kind of be among the trees. Um, I'm I'm not necessarily like condoning tree hugging, but I think like, hugging a tree sometimes is nice too. But getting out in nature, kind of being around like big trees and like plants and flowers and like allowing yourself to really be in the moment is going to be very helpful for you. So maybe taking like a little trip out into nature somewhere. You got the number 0. And so for me, like that talks a lot about like starting at the bottom and kind of working your way up. And I feel like you kind of have gone through this shift and have started this new beginning, especially because like you're letting go of all this stuff and getting into these calmer waters, that like you're starting, from 0 and like moving up. So I feel very much that 0 could be an important number for you right now because you're just starting out with something. Or it could just be a new project or something that you've been working on, or the name 0 could be important to you. I know that 0 from Nightmare Before Christmas is the dog. And I love that character. That's one of my favorite characters. So that might be coming up for some of you for some reason. You have the sun. So, and this little sun is smiling and is very happy. Little sunglasses. So getting outside, enjoying the fresh air, enjoying the sunshine, but also knowing that like happiness is here where you're at right now, and like allow yourself to really feel that and to take that in and really, move forward with that feeling. And like being in the moment is really detrimental to that, because if you're outside in the sun getting those rays, like you're a lot more likely to be in the moment because you're having that vitamin D and that serotonin boost. And that's going to really allow you to be in the present moment and to really feel warmer and more comfortable and really help you stay grounded, which is really important for this group because they've highlighted grounded like a lot. You've got the keys. So for me, this is all about like having the key to your future, like having the key to the answers that you seek. Or having things unlocked and you already know like all the answers and you know where you're going. And it's funny because you also got the lock, but this lock has a little smiley face on it as well. You can't really see it very well because my camera won't focus on it, but the middle has a little smiley face. But this is telling me that because you have the lock and key, like anything that you've been having a hard time like letting go of, or that you have been having just a difficult time with transcending, like you have the key to that and you're able to like open up that lock and really move forward. So you're not going to feel as restricted anymore, and you're really going to be able to like come out of that feeling of feeling restricted, come out of that feeling of feeling like lower vibe of down, of like just struggling, and you're going to be able to transcend that because you have the keys to get out of that energy now. And I'm laughing because you did get 3 letters and it almost spelled out key. I guess if you put the Q as silent, you could do key, but you have KEQ. So these could be initials. They could be just, letters that are important to you. But again, I'm seeing key. They could be first, middle, last. I also see like kindness, equality, quiet. So kind of finding time in the stillness. Balance is for some reason coming through for you guys. I don't know if it's just because of the equality, but I'm finding that like maybe allowing yourself to have a balance between like work and play is really important for you guys right now. Treating yourself and others with kindness, but especially yourself, because I feel like Lena was talking about like with this group, like it is about kind of being nice to yourself and like, really allowing yourself to open up to who you are and not let other people's opinions and words get into your head. And I feel like that's really important for this group as well. But those are the charms that I had.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you guys are just like she said. I think that that is basically all I had too. You guys had like a little bit more like channel message wise, so I feel like I said a lot of what Spirit was wanting to say there. And I think that you know, it is just going to be, it's a process, and it's really just about being gentle with yourself through the process. I think that's something that I still struggle with and am learning all the time. So I'm with you on that. Like it's very hard to be in a through a death and a rebirth, because even though you come out of it better, it can be agonizing as you're waiting to kind of move through it, as you're facing shadows and things like that. And I feel like that's a little bit of what this group has kind of been doing, but it feels like you are coming to the end of that. So just hold on a little bit.
Yes, for sure. Hopefully that resonated for you guys. If it did, leave us a like, comment, hit subscribe. Let us know if any of these animals are like your favorite animal, anything like that. Otherwise, you can catch us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, basically any social media. We have a Facebook, we have a website. You can contact us anywhere, anytime, and we'll try to get back to you. But hopefully you like those messages. And hopefully you'll join us in the future. But until then, we hope to see you in our next video.
Bye, guys.
If you chose group 3, you chose the cat. So with the cat as an animal totem or animal guide, this is an animal that is very independent, animal that is very curious, and can be very loving, but is very selective about the people that it loves. So this is a very like inclusive animal as well. But for me with this group, like this is probably teaching you how to be a little bit more independent, a little bit more confident, and allowing yourself to be very curious and to dive into things and really just do things that you feel are the right thing to do. Because when we think about cats, like think about the fact that they know when to nap and they know when to eat. And like they don't really care what anybody has to say about it. They're just going to do the things that they want to do. And that's just how it is. And I feel like with this group, you're coming into kind of that confidence and like allowing yourself to really do what you feel and not so much what you think you should do, is kind of what I'm picking up off of this animal. And with this animal or any of the animals that come out in these groups, it could be a permanent animal, which means that it can be an animal that helps you for your entire lifespan, or it could just be an animal that's trying to teach you lessons right now in the moment for where you're at in your journey. So it just kind of depends. But we have tarot, we have oracle, we have some charms. Lena's doing channeled messages, and then I'm also going to draw some of these animal cards, and these are going to tell you who or what your animal spirits that are working with you right now are. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to draw 4 of these for you guys to kind of see what those spirits are. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. And if you hear my cat at any point in this, then just know that he's just saying hi. But you actually got 5 that popped out, I think. Oh no, you still only got 4. Okay. So we have 4 animals for you. So the first one is the hawk. So this is a messenger, observation, and focus. So with the hawk, that could be teaching you how to kind of refine your focus, how to be very observant of your surroundings, looking for signs from spirit or messages. And the hawk could also symbolize that somebody is going to communicate with you, or you could be receiving messages. So you could be expecting communication of some sort, whether that be through like text message, internet, word of mouth, whatever that is. You could be receiving messages here pretty soon, like in the 3D, or you could just be getting a lot of messages and downloads from spirit as well. You got the bat, which is rebirth, renewal, and communication. So communication again. So with the bat, like that is very much about rebirth and renewal. So that's very much this energy of like coming out and like starting a new beginning. With bats, they also are known for listening as well. So again, with that observation and focus, like bats have echolocation, which is really important to them. And then they also usually travel in groups as well. So that could also be something that it's helping you with, is kind of how to communicate in groups of people, or how to really, put yourself out there and like allow yourself to go through a rebirth process. So you might be going through like the death and rebirth process, but we'll kind of see with your cards in a minute. You have the Panther, which is power, protection. Yeah, power, protection, and death and rebirth. So again, like you are probably going through this period right now where you're kind of going through a death and rebirth process. And that's really allowing you to kind of come out of this this place that you've been in and kind of step into your power. Another thing with the Panther with that protection is that what I'm getting is that you're actually very protected, spiritually, physically. Like I feel like spirit's really trying to tell you, and your guides are really trying to tell you that like you have a lot of protection around you right now. And so, to kind of give you a sense of security and know that even though things have been really, really difficult, or you might have been going through a lot of like heavier, denser energy, like you are very protected and you're going to come out of that okay. And like there's, like just kind of to give you that confidence and that safety and to help you with that. I feel like the Panther is here to help you. And then the last animal that you got is the peacock, which is bold, confident, and beauty. So I feel like, again, like you're coming into that power. And in doing so, like you're kind of putting yourself out there, being bold, being confident, kind of finding your own way and how to express yourself and communicate, and really, coming into your own beauty and coming into an understanding of how to really be who you are and express that and allow yourself to really just embody your soul and to kind of put the ego aside and come out of that in a higher vibration, in a higher state. Is kind of what I'm picking up from the animals as far as like what they're helping you with. It's getting through that rebirth process and really coming into your own power. But we are going to get in your tarot to kind of see what they want you to know, which, give me 1 second. I think the last group might have had Panther too, so I can't remember at this point.
There were a lot of similarities between group 2 and group 3, so if you felt drawn, you should definitely check it out. They also had bat and the hawk as well.
No, they had different birds in that pile, but
the
did have
hawk
the
was
hawk.
their spirit.
Yeah, was the sticker. But they did have different animals, but I know they had the Panther for sure as one of their current guides. So if you were drawn to that, then go ahead and check it out. But we're going to get into your tarot and see kind of what they want you to know right now. So on your journey, they want you to know you got the Page of Wands, you got the Empress, you have the Moon, and then you have the Three of Cups. So what I'm picking up on this is that you are probably in the process of learning a lot about yourself, about your inner world, but I think you're also in the process of learning how to express that through either creativity or through communication. And I think that what that's allowing you to do is to step into this Empress energy. And I think right now it is really about listening to your intuition, listening to your dreams, listening to those little nudges and those tugs for what direction you need to go in, or what, those messages that are coming in. Again, like with the hawk, you have that messenger, and then you also have communication with those birds. So that could very much just symbolize that you're getting a lot of downloads, you're getting a lot of information, you're getting a lot of communication. And so I think that, it's really important to listen to yourself and to really listen to your intuition. And then with the Three of Cups, like that's all about like working with others, or like allowing yourself to be open with others emotionally. So really, leaning on your friends and family right now, or your loved ones. If you have a significant other, leaning on them, opening up, and really anything that comes up for you because you've been going through a death and rebirth, anything that's coming up for you, it is really important that you lean on people when you need to, and that you don't try to kind of hold all that in. But I feel like you've been, kind of working through that already. And I think this is just kind of a reminder to like put yourself out there and to really express yourself and to really not shy away from that, because spirit really wants you, and your animal guides really want you to step into that empress energy, which this is a crane, which is a very bold animal. But I noticed you have the moon in both of these cards, and the moon is all about like your intuition, your dreams, your emotions. So again, like I feel like this group is very much, again, like in your feminine energy. And I feel like that's really what has been developing for you. And that might have been what this rebirth was about, was really leaning into that feminine energy and allowing yourself to express that. And I feel like you're expressing it by getting in touch spiritually with your guides, with spirit, either through like manifestation or through creative pursuits. So if you like to draw, sing, paint, write, anything, anything that you like to do that connects you spiritually, or to that friend group, like I feel like that is something that's really important for you, because it is really important for you to kind of lean into that feminine energy a little bit at this time, and really nurture yourself so that you can really allow yourself to express who you are and to feel confident in yourself. And I feel like that's what this rebirth has really been about for you guys.
I agree.
Okay. So we have some oracle cards for you as well. So the first one is Antelope Spirit, which is life is speeding up, which is super exciting for you. And then we have the Spider Spirit, which Spider came out in the first group, I believe. So if you're drawn to that, check that out, which is make your dreams real. So that creative energy. You have for your butterfly card, welcome the new, which is really exciting. Not straight. And then for your archangel animal cards, you have, well, it's supposed to be, I don't know if I've ever heard it called ladybird, but ladybug, accept happiness and good fortune, which is Archangel Premanilic. Probably said that wrong. I'm sorry, sir, ma'am. And then you also have rabbit, which is recognize your significance, which is Archangel Gabriel. So healing. But again, I think that just kind of expands. Like, I feel like you're going through this new energy. Like, you have a lot about like life is speeding up. Welcome to the new, like accepting happiness and good fortune. Like, I feel like it's very much you're in this new start right now. Like, you might have just started, a new cycle in your life and closed out an old one, which a lot of people are right now. And I kind of explained that in the first group, but it's Aries time right now, and we just went through the Aries new moon, which allowed you to really like step into this new power and to start a lot of new things. And for a lot of people, like that means like ending your old cycles and starting new in a lot of different ways. So that could be starting new spiritually, in your career, with your friends, with your loved ones. That could just be starting, a new way of being. Like that could be how you see yourself. So there's lots of different things that could embody. But I feel like right now it is a lot about that new start. And it is about really allowing yourself to dream, pull those dreams in, and really expressing them, and allowing yourself to really like revel in that time, and allowing yourself to receive. Because I feel like with spirit, like you have accepting happiness and good fortune. And for me, like with the life is speeding up as well, like that tells me that right now, things may have been kind of feeling a little bit stagnant or a little bit slow, a little bit heavy, but spirit's saying like things are going to start moving pretty fast for you. And it really is about like letting those things come into your life and allowing them to really, be here right now in the moment. And I think that that's something that you've been learning, is to let go of that old stuff in order to let that new come in. And now it's getting to that point where you can recognize that like, okay, now I'm ready for this to come in. And you'll see that things will start slowly at first coming in, and then it'll speed up over time. So I feel like for this group, there is a lot of new coming in, which is really exciting.
Okay, so for your guys' channel messages, here's what I got for you guys. I got the song Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Seeing the number 4, so I saw the number 4 for you guys. So if that has any significant meaning to you, maybe you're born on the 4th, that we are in the 4th month right now, so this could be a significant month for you. If you start your new year at a different time, like say from like Chinese New Year, anything like that, like I think something about the 4th month, or maybe even the 4th sign. So like if some people start their year in Aries season, so that would be, what would that be? Gemini would be the 4th one, I believe. No, Cancer. So Cancer season, July could be really important to you, which makes sense because 4th of July, if you're American. But anyway, that could be important. That's coming through for some reason. I saw like, I mean, like it was you, but it was you as a fish when I was like you guys as the readers, but I was seeing you guys like as a fish, as a salmon more specifically, swimming upstream. And then you were trying and swimming upstream and like dodging obstacles, and then I finally saw you guys like surface, and then there was just like this really beautiful like pond with like gold and rainbows and like just like a promised land, like that's what it looked like it was like you finally reached that destination that you've been waiting for. And I also saw an Amazon Prime package being delivered, so I don't know if some of you are getting Amazon right now while you're listening to this. But for me, this was about like your gifts from like being like spirits, like, okay, we boxed it up, it's on the way. Like that's kind of what I was picking up from it. Also saw roller skates, and the song YMCA was playing while I saw the roller skates. So I don't know if that's something you used to do. I don't know. To me, this is just very much about like lightening up your energy and not being super serious, because the more you're present and the more you're in the moment and the more you're just living and embracing this new energy, I think the faster the old is leaving and the new is coming. They gave me the line, which is something that they said, and I just wrote it down, which is the treasure chest is attained by realizing that the real treasure has always been you, which I was like, ooh, that's very soft. And then I saw a house with a chimney, and it had a for sale sign on the lawn, and then there was a sold sticker on it. So I don't know if some of you are looking to move. This could be an omen about moving, that you might find the house of your dreams. This could even, again, just be about change. Like you've moved out of the old house, like your old way of being, and now moved into this new house. And the last thing that I got for you was the song Welcome to the 60s from Hairspray, which I love that movie / musical. But with this was giving me, again, like that, like we're not in the 60s, no, but it's giving me that, again, that new age, that new era. Like if like this song is about like Edna, because she stays inside and she was a recluse, and so she was in her own, so she had no idea what was going on out in the world anymore. And I think that like because of everything that's been going on right now, we're all kind of in that place of like we're about to be welcomed into this new chapter of our lives for a lot of us. And for this group, that feels really prominent. Like you're going to be brought into this place of like where it's gonna be like I'm thinking of that, like the line in that song where they're like it's like towards the end of the song, and it's like your mom is hip, and then it's like when they say like and they're asking like, where have you been, like, what I mean, like, so it's like this welcome, like spirit guides, ancestors, everyone's waiting for you at this promised land, basically. And so it's like they're just like, here, like we're getting there, you're finally about to reach the place that you wanted to be at, which is just super exciting. I'm gonna be very, very happy for you guys.
That is very exciting. I'm going to draw you guys a few charms, not a ton, just some. I've been doing just a little bit today. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Exciting. Okay. For you guys, you got, set this down. You got Capricorn, So that could be significant for you that you could be a Capricorn. If so, that is confirmation for you. On the back, it says ambitious, which is exciting. But there might have been something you started in Capricorn season, or you might know somebody that's really important to you. That's part of your Three of Cups. That's a Capricorn. It just kind of depends on what that means for you. You got the plane. So some of you might be traveling. So for those of you that are moving, some of you might be moving overseas, or you might be moving across states, or you could just, want to travel, and it might be a good time for you to plan that. I know we talked about travel in group 1. So again, if you are interested in group 1, that's something that you should maybe go back and watch if you feel inclined.
When you
Uh,
picked up the plane, I just heard the song from, I know it's from somewhere else, but I always think of it from Shrek in that changes.
it's called Changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. I highly recommend. Also, I'm sure that means that Archangel Michael is around.
Yeah.
You have the 2 hearts that are intertwined. So for some of you, you might be connecting romantically with somebody, which again, that can go along with that 3 of Cups as well. Or it could just be about love in general. So it could be about love in the platonic sense, like as far as with friends or family, or it could be, a significant other. It could also be about self-love as well.
Mhm.
We also have the swans, which the swans, I know a lot of times people see this as there's a little heart, but for me, this is like a mom swan and a baby swan. So this could be about showing your inner child love. It could be about actual children. So if you have an actual, an actual child, if you have a child, here in 3D, then it could be
Baba.
about, I know, it could be about spending time with that child. Which with the Empress can signify pregnancy as well. I'm just going to bring that up for some of you. So if you have been, working with that, you might find out that you're pregnant. Sorry if I spoiled the surprise. Maybe not. And then for some of you, that's just spending time with your loved ones or with your inner child as well, your inner children, and really nurturing them as well, which, with healing, that is a lot of the work that we do, is healing those inner child wounds. You have the butterfly, which is transformation, death, and rebirth. So for you guys, I feel like you've already been kind of going through this process, and I feel like you're coming out of it, but you're just there, just like Lena was saying, you're kind of right under the surface. And I feel like it's really, you're gonna be blossoming and coming out of that cocoon as a beautiful butterfly. And
Mhm.
it is really about knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and you're almost there. And so I feel like spirit's really highlighting that because they don't want you to give up, because I know that I know for me, I've been through a lot of really heavy times, and excuse me, when I look back at those times, it is very much about you look back at those times, and when you were in those moments, you've always thought oh, I'm never going to get out of this. It's never going to end. I don't know what to do about this. I'm always going to feel this way. It's always going to be this hard. And it's but I did come out of it, And so I feel like it's kind of one of those energies of spirits, it's going to end, you're going to be on an up cycle. And I watched a reading the other day. I feel bad because I can't remember which person it was, but they were talking about a pendulum swinging and how pendulum goes one way, but it always goes back the other way. And so if things seem really, really, really hard, just know that the pendulum has an upswing. And so you're coming to that time now where you're going to be able to come up and out of that. And that's what that rebirth is really coming out of that energy and allowing yourself to really blossom now that you've been through that transformation. You got the music staff. So this is the treble clef. So, you may be really into music. Music could be very important for you. You might get a lot of messages because we talked about the hawk, right? Might get a lot of messages through music. That might be a way that a lot of your guides speak to you. So pay attention to the lyrics of the music that you listen to, and really allow yourself to really feel the music and really get into that if that's something that you enjoy. If you're somebody who creates music, I feel like this is just more encouragement to really dive into that and to keep going. and to really keep putting your emotions and maybe even expressing your music. So if you're somebody who writes music or performs music in any way, maybe putting that out there is going to be really good for you, especially with all of this communication and your Three of Cups energy, or at least sharing it with the people that you love. Or even, if you don't do that, like even if you spend time, I don't know, listening to music with the people that you love, or maybe like creating playlists together or watching a concert or, whatever that may be. Like, I feel like music's very important. And then the last ones that we have this little tiny white flower with a little pearl in the middle. And for me, that's all about like beauty and blossoming and opening up, which again goes kind of really well with that death and rebirth. You got the star, which is all about like hope and dreams. So for me, like that's very much about like allowing yourself to dream, allowing yourself to hope, and to really keep your hopes high. The song High Hopes by Panic at the Disco just popped into my head. But it is really about like allowing yourself to feel that hope and not giving up, and really like any of those like times where you're like, oh yes, I feel like I can do this, like really reveling in that, allowing yourself to feel it and not being afraid of it, I feel is really big for this group. And then the last one that you got is the letter I, which I don't take this, I mean, it could be like an initial, but I'm taking this more as like you, as like really allowing yourself to be who you are, opening up, and really just focusing on nurturing yourself while you go through this new beginning, and knowing that like you are coming out of it and everything is going to be okay. And it's very beautiful and exciting because there's a lot of really beautiful stuff as soon as you reach that surface.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And one thing I wanted to say here before we close is that like this saying popped into my head, which is which Becca kind of touched on it briefly, about the pendulum and the upswing, which is regression to the mean. So regression to the mean is basically about no matter how bad or how good things get, things always come back to the center, because life is about balance. You are never going to always be happy, nor are you ever going to always be sad. And that very much reminds me of the song, nope, that's not the song. I was gonna say a completely different song, but it's a song by Taylor Swift, and it's on her newer album. I was gonna say it's called Happiness, but it's not Happiness, it's the other song. I can't think of the title right now, but basically in that song, she talks about how like it feels like this, that she like this mental health thing that she's going through, and for some it can be mental health, for some it really could be that like you're low on finances, can be anything. It feels like it's never going to end, and then one day and that's what she feels like. She talks about this in the song like endlessly, like this feels like it's never going to end. I feel like I'm always going to be stuck here. This feels like a never ending sadness. Mm-hmm. And then finally she says, oh, but it's not. Like that's how that song ends. It's like there is that hope at the end of it, of like there is, so you are getting to the end of this really probably hard long cycle. For some of you this could even be your Saturn return, since that Capricorn term came out, which your Saturn return, like Daddy Saturn will come in and make you do the work, but then he does bring you to the promised land. So it's worth it in the end, but it sucks. So for some of you, that might be the case. And, just know that you're going to get to the end of this. And, like I said, your channel messages were so beautiful that I might have cried a little bit. I mean, I didn't, but I kind of wanted to. Like, I was just like, that's so soft. Like, especially with the whole welcome to the 60s. Like I said, I felt the presence of your guides and ancestors and everyone who was waiting for you at the other end of this. And so it's just very much about like, come on, keep going. It's like you're on that last bit of the mile and you're exhausted, but you just have to keep running just a little longer. And when you cross that finish line, you're going to feel so good. Like that's exactly what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. And that song, I think, is Evermore.
Yeah, it's Evermore. There we go.
It's such a good song. Bon Iver is featured on that song too, so I highly recommend. I mean, I love Taylor Swift, but like it's extra good. Just beautiful song. But anyways, yes, sorry, got a little bit into the music there, but hopefully these messages resonated for you, and hopefully you find some hope in this message as well, because I know like we could always use a little bit more of that, right? So leave us a comment, a like, hit subscribe. You can catch us on social media. We have Twitch, we have Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, a website, Facebook, basically anywhere you can find us on there. And if you need to reach out to us, go ahead and do that. We love responding to people, so let us know. But in the meantime, let us know if any of these animals are like your favorite animal, or if you have, anything that really stood out to you about the reading. But hopefully those resonated, and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye, guys.
If you chose pile 4, you chose the jellyfish. So with the jellyfish, this is an animal that really knows how to go with the flow. So they could be teaching you to kind of go with the flow of life right now. It could be kind of teaching you about like boundaries as well, because with the jellyfish, like down here, they have these stingers so that if you get too close, like it stings you. And I feel like with the jellyfish, like it is very much about like learning those boundaries, but jellyfish are also known for creativity. They're known for being very graceful. And again, like very like go with the flow energy, which is really, really beautiful energy to be in. And I feel like that's an animal that either might be here permanently for you as like a totem, or it could just be a guide that's here right now to kind of help you with where you're at in your journey or where you're at in your life. We are going to draw 4 cards from this deck to tell you what animals specifically are working with you as your guides right now. And then we also have tarot, oracle, charms, and then Lena's doing channeled messages as well for what these animal spirits want you to know. So we will go ahead, we'll get into these to see which 4 animal spirits or animal totems are here with you right now. And kind of they have keywords on these cards as well, to kind of tell you what things they're working with you on, or what things that they kind of help you with in your life, or what they want you to embody. Hold on. Any more? One more. Okay. So for this group, we got Swan, which is grace, beauty, and love. So the swan is an animal that's very beautiful. A swan is very graceful. It's an animal that is very much, again, one that goes kind of with the flow. And as a bird, it's also one that kind of sees from like a higher perspective. Now with swans, like they generally are on land a little bit more often than they are in the sky. But they're very graceful creatures. They're very much like they kind of glide across the top of the water, so they don't let things kind of weigh them down. And I feel like with swans, they're also about like that love and that like family feeling as well. They're very close knit with their family group. So I feel like they're very much about like expressing love and unconditional love as well. We have the rabbit, which is abundance, luck, and fertility. Which is really exciting because that means that you have a rabbit guide with you, which rabbits bring good luck, but they're also known for abundance and fertility, which means that in any area of your life, like they're very good at helping you bring in that abundance. And that could be financially, that could be romantically, that could be in friendships, that could be in creativity, that could be in spirit, whatever part of your life that you are working on abundance in. So like whatever part of your life you might be manifesting in, the rabbit's here to bring good luck and to really help you bring that in. They're also really good for bringing in like new, fresh ideas, new beginnings, with that fertility as well. You got the dragon, which is power, change, and magic, which is really exciting because we know that dragons, at least on our plane, we don't really have any dragons, but they're one of my favorite animals, but they are very much about like that power and that magic. So they're here to kind of remind you that magic exists and to kind of bring that to life, but also to help you with like stepping into your power and with your strength. And then they also are a symbol of change as well. So with the dragon, they bring change. They also can fly. So again, that's that higher perspective, while still staying grounded, which is kind of like that swan energy too, like kind of being in that, like you can balance both of those energies really well. And then speaking of balance, you also got the panda, which is peace, balance, and gentle strength. So I feel like there's a lot about like this group really learning how to, kind of be in that like gentle flow right now. And just kind of allowing for things to happen as they will, and then like things coming in as well. So I'm kind of picking up on like your guides are really helping you with like your power, your strength, and with like being in like a gentle, nurturing energy and really balancing all of these energies out right now. And then, of course, with like believing in that magic and in that luck and that abundance. So they're really working with you on manifestation as well. And if I can get it to stand up, there you go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and see kind of what they want you to know or what they're working with you on. So we'll start with your tarot cards. So you have the Queen of Swords. You have the Devil, which is actually a plant, I believe. You have the World, which actually kind of looks like the Pisces symbol as the two fish. And then you have the Six of Wands. For me, what this is really saying is that you're coming into a time where you're kind of nurturing yourself and going through like a time where you maybe been working on a lot of like mental clarity, and with like kind of working through like anything that's kind of seemed a little bit foggy or a little bit heavy. Because with this Devil, like this could be like old toxic patterns, this could be like cycles or things that are kind of weighing you down a little bit heavier. And there's actually a praying mantis on this, I just saw that. So that might be important for you. I don't know why I felt the need to point that out, but there it is. But it just, for me, this is very much like you're kind of overcoming this, because with this you have the World, which for me that does talk about cycles. So again, like that, like those heavier cycles, but then you have the Six of Wands, which is victory. So I feel like with this group, like your animal totems are really helping you get through this like heavier, denser energy through this cycle and like getting out of it. And so this for me is more about like your mental cycle, because you have the Queen of Swords. So with the Queen of Swords, that's this like mental energy. It's also like a feminine energy. So I feel like it's very much about being nurturing, like mentally or like emotionally, like internally, and really like having those like working on like positive thoughts. So things like positive affirmations and working on kind of raising, how you talk to yourself in a better way, and like understanding things on a deeper level that kind of allows you to transcend or cut through all of that like heavy devil energy. And I think that's allowed you to really get to this end of a cycle, and you're getting victory over this. And I think that that's really exciting, because with this also reminds me of like the yin and yang. And again, like with the panda, that's about like balance. So I feel like you've kind of come to this point where you're learning how to really balance those things out, and you're getting victory over those things that have really weighed you down and have really like kept you in the dark and like mentally. And I feel like that's a really beautiful energy to be in, because I feel like mental is like one of the hardest things to deal with, because with the mental, like that's your ego most of the time. So with your mental energy, transcending that and coming out of a cycle where like maybe your ego has kind of been in charge, like being able to kind of take over and be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to let that control me. Like I have the power over that. Like having victory over that is a beautiful energy to come into. And that really allows for things like abundance and luck and change, and just brings in like a brand new energy.
I agree.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into your animal cards. So we'll get into oracles to kind of expand on that a little bit. So we have Eagle Spirit, which is Spirit has your back, number 23, which also is 5 when reduced. We have 35, Koala Spirit. Spirit has a plan. So I think Spirit is trying to tell you they are here for you. You have for your butterfly card Motivation, which actually just made me think of the song Motivation. Hold on. Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze for just a second. It makes me think of the song Motivation by, I think it's Kelly Rowland. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. You got Dolphin, which is Live Joyfully in the Present, which is Archangel Jules. And then for your last oracle card, you got the owl, which is listen to the messages of the angels, which is Archangel Bokpi. I probably said it wrong. Bokpi. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Angel. But basically, with these, this kind of expands on the messages as far as I feel like with this, it's been very heavy and it might have been feeling just, just way too much. And I feel like Spirit is kind of here to tell you, like, we're here for you. We have a plan. Like, we're helping you get through this and you're not alone is kind of the message that I'm getting. And you have listened to the messages of the angels, which again is all about like them telling you, like, we're here, we can send you as many signs. And I think one thing that's really good to do, like if you're getting information about like Spirit wanting to talk to you or Spirit having your back or like messages coming in from like your guides, your team, or your angels, if you have certain symbols or certain things that you want them to send you in order to kind of tell you that you're not alone or to like kind of point you in the right direction, like telling them like, hey, send me a bell ringing whenever you want me to hear, whenever you want me to notice something, or send me like a butterfly is one of mine, for instance. Like send me butterflies, like whether that be through like an actual butterfly or through like symbols or through pictures or whatever it is. Like send me a butterfly and I'll know that like either you want me to look around and take a moment to observe my surroundings, or like that you're here with me. And so like I think that that's really important for this group. And then I also think like allowing yourself to have some time to really play or to do things that make you feel a little bit less heavy is really important for this group as well, because I feel like obviously you have that devil energy in this reading. And yes, you are coming out of it and you are getting that victory and you're coming, you're getting out of this really painful cycle that may have taken a really long time to get here, because mental is always the one that takes the longest other than emotional. Like getting through that, like doing things that are going to raise your vibe, doing things that make you feel happy or that make you feel better or lighter, like those are going to really help you through that energy and to not feel like you just have to sit in it all the time. Because like obviously with your emotions and your feelings and like the heavier stuff, sometimes you do kind of have to sit there and let it just be and just kind of, breathe through it. But then there's also those times where like you can find things to shake up your energy. Like you can dance or you can sing or you can watch something funny or you can do something that's comforting for you, whether that be like take a bath, get a manicure, but in a safe manner, getting your hair done, doing things that are self-care are really important as well. I think that really when you're in that heavy energy, like expressing that love for yourself, like doing things that are loving towards yourself is going to be one of the most important things for you to do. And that's going to really allow you to not feel quite as heavy and not feel quite as like weighed down. And that's what's going to bring in that motivation as well, is when you are allowing yourself to kind of feel and heal and then giving yourself that space and that love in return, that's going to give you the motivation to move forward and to really, transcend all of this. And Spirit has your back anyways. And so like at any point in time, like if you're feeling really heavy, like Spirit is there for you and they've got a plan. They've got your back and like they're not going to let you fall. So I think they're just trying to kind of healthily remind you of that.
So for you guys, I have here, I saw a ballerina doing like pirouettes, which kind of went really well with the whole like graceful thing. And then I got the song Can I Fall in Love Again by Klang. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Klang. And then I saw a mermaid swimming from like murky, stormy waters into like a clearer, calmer water. You Can Fly by Peter Pan came through. Tap into your flow by being creative. Tai Chi and dancing will help move your energy. So those were the messages that came in for you guys. With this song, I don't know that this is necessarily about romantic love. I mean, it totally can be because it's going to be on you and your situation, but I almost feel like this song is about like you guys have been feeling so heavy and so down, and like things have been just really, really hard. And I pick up from this group that you guys aren't usually um people that are on the heavier side. Like I don't like, like I don't think your energy is generally very like dense. So this has been a very like hard period for you. And I almost feel like this song is more of um like a cry for help in a way of like, because like I said, I feel like this group is tends to be more on the optimistic side, lighter. Um and I get this sense that like, for you, like this song might mean more of um like when can I more or less fall in love with life again, because it's just been so hard and so heavy and so dense, and like I completely get that. And especially like if you're someone that's been struggling with this pandemic, or this panorama. I know my sister, for example, is someone who is very sociable as a person, and this has been very hard for her. um it's been hard to not be able to go to friends' birthday parties and things like that, and like because you want to keep people safe, and like she's someone that, my sister is very socially conscious and doesn't want to harm anyone, so she doesn't go out, even though like of course there's a part of her that wants to. And I think there are some of you that are like that in this group, and like even those of you where it has nothing to do with the panorama, because you are like an introvert and you don't really mind that much. There is just still like people that are moving through hard energies and working through old shadows and old patterns that are really hard to let go of and move through. And I feel like I said with this song, I feel very emotionally like attached to it, in the sense of, like I said, not so much about a person, at least from what I'm picking up, but more in the sense of like you're just really, really, really wanting to get out of this heavy, heavy energy. And I completely understand and relate. So I am with you on that. But I think, just like Becca said, Spirit wants to remind you that they're with you, and that there are things you can do that are in your control right now, such as dancing or yoga, or even just going for a walk or meditating outside. Or again, like they recommended tai chi and dancing specifically, so maybe for you guys that is something that will help you shake up this stale energy and the stuff that's stuck in there. Because releasing things doesn't always have to be through crying and agony and like journaling. Like it can be through laughter and joy and nature and meditation, and just being. And I think that if you start to do these things, as hard as it is, because I know that like for me, like I've had a hard time wanting to do the things that I love to do lately. And so I know that that can be really really taxing. So even if you can just find 5 minutes, I think you probably will start to see and feel that shift again of being like, oh, I am starting to get a little bit lighter. Because it really is about sometimes taking that first step. And like you have that card of motivation, and I feel like if you take a baby step, then Spirit's going to come along and push you with more energy, and not in the way of like they're forcing you, but in the way of they're going to give you that motivation, that energy for you to get through this. And so just relying on that wisdom. I hope that makes sense. This was a little bit of a heavier message than the other groups, but I felt like it was kind of necessary to kind of bring it up. And just knowing that you guys are going to get through this time, and that it's not always going to be this hard as much as it sometimes feels like it. And you guys are definitely, like I said, I saw the mermaid swimming from the stormy waters to the clear waters, so it won't always be this way. And so right now it is just about tapping into your energy, and knowing that inside of you, your soul is not snuffed out. I promise.
Yes, I think that that's a really important message. I know that like I've suffered with depression in the past, and like it always feels like it's really, I don't know, did I already mention this in this group? I don't think I did. I think it was the last group, but you always go through those times if you deal with things like, like I do, like depression. And obviously, like, we're not licensed to deal with that kind of stuff. So, like, obviously, if you need assistance, like, we both highly recommend like therapy. Therapy is really, really good. It's very healing and it gives you someone to talk to, which is really important. But from what my experiences are, is you always have those times where things feel so heavy that you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of this. Like, I feel stuck here. I don't know what to do. Like, I just feel like it's never going to change. But then you come out of it and like you can look back and see those times where like things may have been heavier and then you came out of it. And it does happen where like you can get back to center, which we kind of talked about in the last group as well. But this group, I feel like it's especially important for you to know that, like, we talked about this pendulum swinging, and I think it might have been Esotero that said this. If it's not, then I'm sorry. But when the pendulum goes one way, it always swings back the other. And so when it comes to rest, it comes to rest in the middle. And the middle is really where you want to be. And they teach that in shamanism as well. But coming back and like neutralizing that energy, like, you're never going to stay in that denser state. There's always an upswing and there's always a way to come back to center. So even though things may feel heavy right now, or it may be really, really difficult, you are going to get through it and you're going to come out on the other end because, there's that upswing that comes in and you are going to get past this and get to those calmer waters. And you have that Six of Wands, which is the victory card. So you are getting through this. We did some charms. So for your charms, we have, hold on, I'm going to put them down so that I can hold them up. We have story. So for some of you, like, one way that you might kind of get out of this energy or like get your energy up a little bit is maybe you're writers, or maybe you like to really read. Maybe like you like to read webtoons or comics, or maybe you like to read like novels, fiction novels, nonfiction, biographies, whatever it may be, or maybe you just like to learn. I feel like story is coming through to kind of, remind you of that and say, like, you know what? Maybe it'll help you to, read something or to write something or to really like put things down, express how you're feeling, like, or just, allow yourself to kind of be in that like creative energy. Allow yourself to go somewhere in your brain, like allow yourself to write about like a place that, doesn't necessarily exist here on this plane, or make a story or write about your own story. Like, I'm kind of feeling like it's very much that creative vibe. But also, like, for those of you that love to read, I feel like reading is something that can kind of help you get out of that energy and kind of take you to a different place for a while. And that is something that's very helpful. I know that for me, comics have always been part of my life when it comes to like kind of getting away for a little bit. Reading comics, seeing those pictures has been really important for me. So that might be something that's really helpful for you. I do have a book recommendation, actually, for once in my life. I'm currently reading a book called The Keeper of Lost Things. It's by Ruth Hogan, I think is the author. But it's a really good book. And I think that, it's a book that can kind of take you out of things. And it's about someone who used to keep really important things and they pass away. And then their secretary goes and gives these things to specific people and returns them to like their owners. It's actually a really cute book, but book recommendation for anybody that needs it. I don't know. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but anyways, the story. You have the Mickey Mouse key. So for me, that's like a very childlike energy. And I feel like this is saying like your inner child is the key. So if there's any point in time where like things are feeling really heavy or like you're going through something really hard, like listen to your inner child, listen to what your inner child or your inner children want. That could be like, today I want to eat pizza and watch a Disney movie. Like, do it. Like Lena mentioned Peter Pan, watch Peter Pan. I love that movie. It's beautiful. It has Tinkerbell in it. Like, so if that's something that you like to do, if that's what your inner child wants, like nurture those inner children and allow them to really express that. If they want to sit and hug a stuffed animal for a while, or if they want to color in a coloring book, like just kind of allow yourself to do those things when you're feeling that way, and that can really help you kind of, feel comforted during those times. For some of you, it could even just be spending times with your children or with, the kids that are in your life. You got the black cat, which this also looks like a little cartoon character. There's a lot of really playful energy in your charms. But with the cat, that's someone who's very curious, independent. So, it may just be that like you are kind of in like a time where you've been feeling a little bit more solitary. Excuse me. And I think the cat is very much about like allowing yourself to kind of be in that independent energy, but still also knowing, when do I need to take time to sleep? When do I need to take time to eat? When do I need to, do something that makes me, happy? Cats like to, you know, look into things as well. So again, that could go with that story. Like maybe you like to learn. And so maybe learning can help you get kind of out of that energy as well. You have the little blue crown. And for me, like this color is actually really about the throat chakra. It's almost like a teal color. But with the crown, like that's treating yourself like royalty and knowing that like you matter and you are important. And like this is very much like allowing yourself to kind of be in that energy and be in that power. And like, with that, like blue is like communicating as well. So when you need something or when something is bothering you, or even when you just need somebody to hang out with and you just want to have like a good conversation, like that is really important for this group too. I think is really kind of leaning on others when you need to, but also allowing yourself to kind of be in that energy and know like it's okay sometimes if you need to be off on your own, but it's also okay if you don't need to. And if you need time to, watch a movie with your friends or like, laugh about something or sing or whatever it may be. You got the letter X. And for me, like, I don't know why xylophone is coming through. I don't know if you play the xylophone. I don't know. Music, I think, is really important for this group because we did get a lot of like musical stuff come up for this group as well. And like your channel messages and songs have been popping in. So that could be a thing. I also see like X-ray. So for some of you, if you've been going through like harder times, like medically, that's just kind of like a confirmation for you. But I think that those times are, I'm obviously not a doctor, so I can't guarantee anything. But I think for some of you, if you've been going through like maybe you have like been stuck at home because not only because of the panorama, but because like maybe like you broke a bone or something, and so you haven't really been able to get out and about. And like, I think this is very much telling me that like with this, like things are going to get better. And so like you're not going to be stuck forever. And then I also, the last term that you got is love. It has a little heart. And for me, again, that's really relying on like self-love, but also allowing yourself to receive love from others as well. Allowing love in, giving love out, and really just kind of, allowing that to be the thing that really nurtures you right now, whether that be again through self-love, through like showing yourself all of those like nurturing things by listening to your inner children, or just by being with the people that you love and care about and like allowing them to express love and to show you how much they do care and to make you feel heard and to make you feel comforted. And I know that like that not always does that work when we go through situations like, for instance, like depression. But it does help to know that somebody else is there sometimes. And so it's okay to allow that in and to really say like, usually like I can kind of handle things on my own, but right now I need somebody to like sit and watch this funny movie with me, or just to be, or to talk to, or whatever that may be. And I feel like for this group, it's very important that you allow yourself to do those things that you feel. And that's kind of the messages that I'm picking up from that.
I think that that is basically all I had as well.
Okay. Well, hopefully those messages resonated for you. Let us know if we picked up on any of your favorite animals, or if there's anything like anything in here that really stood out to you. Leave us a like, a comment, hit subscribe. We would like to see you back on our channel. If you want to, you can check us out on Twitch. We're also on any other social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I always forget all of them. Facebook, our website. You can reach out to us at any point and communicate with us if you'd like. We're also working on getting our Discord up too. So hopefully we'll have that up soon. But please reach out to us if you need to. But that hopefully resonated. And if we don't hear from you, hopefully we'll see you in our next video.
Yes, bye guys.